Hi, I'm FB and this is TM News July 8, 2015, beginning with the latest results. And first off this week, the TMX All-Round Champion 2015 has been going on since February and now the results are in. The player who gathered the most amount of points was none other than the time attack specialist racehans, who with 292 points was ahead of Morris89 at second place with 3 points and an additional 2 points ahead of Ghost at third place. As a reward for his accomplishment, racehans took home €50, but also second and third place didn't go home empty-handed. Also make sure to check out this video made by racehans himself that features his best time set during the tournament. racehans' teammate Koenz also had some recent success. He attended the Belgian LAN event eSports-Festival this past weekend, who were organizing a TrackMania event. In the grand final, Koenz took on Lifelux in a 1 vs 1 and he didn't have much of a problem staying in front of his opponent and ultimately won it with a score of 120 to 92. Third place went to Joske. Another Dutch player that did well this past weekend was Spam, who was able to win KripkesWorldFight. This was the third event of the second season of this event, which is using a pretty unique format where 4 unknown tracks are played on in an endurance format using different styles and where your points carry over from track to track. Second place went to Saber in front of Shorty at third place. The NASCAR Racing League continues to host regular events, and the latest one was the Nastars race, which consisted of 40 laps in total. After those had been played, the first player to cross the finish line was ACI ahead of Dopamine and Racer. Make sure to visit the official website tm-nascar.com for more information about this event. Now for some ESL news to end the results segment, beginning with the Stadium Nations Challenge 2015, which recently had its semifinals played. The first match was between France and Czech Republic Slovakia, and a bit surprisingly perhaps, Czech Republic Slovakia were able to win the first track, which was a tech one with a score of 7-3. But on the next track, which was Dirt, France dominated as expected and with a score of 2-7 were now in the lead with 9-10 going into the full speed track. And here, France were clearly the better team and won it with a 1-7 score, putting the final result at 10-17. In the other semifinal, Germany vs Sweden, which was played on Monday, Germany had already won the match after only 2 of the tracks had been played. They dominated completely and only allowed Sweden to win 1 round. The last track, which was Dirt, was played just for fun, but even this one Germany won with a 5-7 score, making the result 6-21 in their favor. The playoffs of the Dirt Premiership 4 is also going on. In the quarterfinals, NWT defeated Zorak with a 2-4 score by winning the 1 vs 1, 2 vs 2 and 5 vs 5 submatches, and with that advanced to the semifinals against Dirty Deeds Racing. However, that's where it ended for NWT, as Dirty Deeds Racing proved to be a bit stronger by winning the match with a 1-5 score. With that, they will play against Pulse Gaming in the upcoming Grand Final. And finally, Competition Premiership 15 only got 1 more group stage round left to be played, but in the Premier League we already know which 4 teams will qualify to the upcoming playoffs. Team Dignitas were able to secure first place by winning their match last week, and with that qualifies directly to the Grand Final. Planet Key Dynamics will finish at second place and are placed into the semi-final, and then the 2 teams that will face off against each other in the quarterfinal will be Easy Esports and MnM-Gaming. In the other leagues, Crew Esport, MnM-Gaming 2, Insects, Display and Indicate are currently occupying first place. You'll find a link to the full rankings in the summary below. Moving on to community news. The team formerly known as Funteam has joined a new organization called MnM-Gaming. The team, which is led by Air, Nevermind and XX Rider, say they hope this opportunity will give the team and the organization a new dimension and better chances of achieving their goals. Check out this announcement over at MnM-Gaming's website for a couple of statements from the people involved. Movie maker Ozone is currently working on a movie project called We Are TrackMania, which is scheduled to be released on July 24th. To celebrate that, Ozone has decided to do a giveaway of 5 mouse pads with the movie's logo on them. To participate in this contest, you need to try and guess the exact length of the movie in minutes and seconds. The 5 closest submissions will win, and the deadline to send in a guess is set to July 19th. A new title pack has been announced called Around the USA, which is made by Flight High. This is a Valley title pack that features a solo campaign with 50 tracks. And to download this title pack, simply go to the Mania Planet store in-game and you'll find it there. The Mini Dirt Cup has revealed the plans to organize a second edition of the cup, and the first step is, as always, to ask for maps to be submitted. In a Facebook post you can see all the requirements needed to follow when building the maps, as well as how to submit them. Now for some TrackMania exchange contests, starting with the puzzle competition. After a long hiatus, TMX decided to revive this competition where the goal is to find the fastest way through a maze without missing any checkpoints. Simply download the track and try to set as fast of a time as possible, and then send in your replay before July 19th to participate. Another edition of the Imposter build contest has also been announced. For those not familiar with this competition, the idea is to try and impersonate the style of a chosen author, and for this contest the author in mind is Zenit. A judging system will be used to determine the winner, and as a prize that person gets to choose the next author to interpret. The deadline is set to August 16th. To finish off the community news, the monthly track contest for the month of July was announced last week, and the themes this time are for TM2 Crossroads, for Nations Checkpoint Bug, and for United Crossing Point. You'll find links to more information about the contest in the description. Now for upcoming events. Later tonight at 9:30 PM CST, the 9th race of the BA Championship 2015 season will take place. This time it's the British Grand Prix, which is played on the classic Silverstone circuit. You can already now practice the course by downloading the Stadium F1 title pack and joining the official server. No registration is required to participate in the race. On Sunday, the grand final of the ESL Stadium Nations Challenge 2015 is happening. The 2 nations that reached this final round were the defending champions Germany and the challenger France. Both teams are so far undefeated in the tournament and look to be very motivated to try and win. Make sure to not miss this clash between 2 titans of TrackMania, which is scheduled to start at 6 PM CST. 1 hour later on Sunday, the first playday of the ESL Open League Summer 2015 is beginning. A great number of 95 players signed up to this event and have been divided into 16 groups. First place in every group will advance to the playoffs, while second place finishers will go through to a consolation playoffs. Over at ESL's website you can read more about this event and download the first map pack. The last news of this 100th episode of TM News is about the Ziptripix Daddy Hunt competition, which is going to run from July 12th to 19th. It's a time attack competition played on LOL tracks that requires no sign up. Rules, prizes and more useful information can be found in the official announcement. And that's all I had for this week. As always, thanks everyone for watching. It's been a pleasure making all these episodes over the years, and I hope they serve the purpose. And first off this week, the TMX All-Round Champion 2015 has been... racehans teammate Koenz also had some He attended the Belgian LAN event eSports-Festival this... After those had been played, the first player to cross the finish line was none other than... After those had been played... Now for some ESL news to end the results segment, beginning with the